Welcome to Udo TV. This time, we're discussing creating your personal health and wellness pack. Really excited to get into this today, Susan. We're focusing on some, truly powerful, natural ways to support our health.
Absolutely, Bob. It's always fascinating, isn't it, to discover the incredible things nature offers.
It really is.
And there's definitely a growing interest in these natural approaches, which is just great to see.
Yeah.
So our mission today really is to cut through some of the noise and give you, our listener, some clear, well-informed insights.
Exactly. And this time, we're really exploring four quite extraordinary ingredients, staples from, well, nature's own pantry, you could say.
That's right. Garlic, ginger, turmeric, and perhaps surprisingly, sodium bicarbonate.
We want to explore their extensive benefits, not just for, what we eat, but for our whole health and wellness picture.
And when we really look closely at these natural remedies, Bob, it becomes so clear how beneficial they can be, often, I think, far surpassing many synthetic chemical treatments. Well, their real power lies in their complex synergistic compounds. They work with our body's systems, harmoniously, rather than just suppressing symptoms or sort of working against our natural physiology.
That's such a fundamental point for our discussion today, isn't it? A key declaration, really.
That is.
It highlights why understanding what we put into and onto our bodies is just so vital now. Because, look, on the flip side, many common factory-produced products, well, they can be unfortunately laden with chemicals.
That's true.
And over time, these can introduce unwanted, even toxic elements into our systems.
Yeah.
They can cause harm.
Exactly. So understanding is key.
So let's empower ourselves with some knowledge from nature. Where should we start, Susan?
Let's begin with ginger, Zingiber officinale. Now, many of us know it as that warm, zesty spice in cooking, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But its identity as a health powerhouse, well, that runs centuries deep. Traditional medicine has revered ginger for its medicinal properties for generations.
And modern science keeps backing that up, doesn't it?
It really does. It's constantly affirming that ancient wisdom.
When we were looking into the research, Susan, especially that comparative study we analyzed, ginger's antimicrobial properties just jumped out. It's not just flavor. It's a robust defender. The study showed its aqueous extracts had broad activity. They could inhibit the growth of most bacterial strains tested.
Right, though Streptococcus pneumonia seemed a bit resistant in that particular test.
Yeah, that one exception.
But, Bob, to give you a sense of its strength, in that study, ginger produced a significant inhibition zone. That's, how much it stopped bacterial growth. A substantial 13.5 millimeters against Pseudomonas aeruginosa.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, that's a tricky bacterium sometimes.
It can be. And ginger also showed notable effectiveness against others we often hear about, like Staphylococcus aureus, Staphylococcus epidermidis, Haemophilus influenza, and even different Salmonella species.
And it wasn't just about stopping growth, like from afar. The study looked at minimum inhibitory concentrations, the MICs.
Right, the lowest concentration needed to actually stop visible growth.
And get this, a 40% ginger extract worked against Bacillus sp. Even a 30% concentration was effective against S. epidermidis, H. influenzae, and that tricky P. aeruginosa. But here's what really struck me. Just a 10% concentration was enough to inhibit Escherichia coli, E. coli, that common gut bug.
It's genuinely remarkable, Bob. The researchers even pointed out that ginger often showed higher activity against some of these E. coli, Bacillus sp. candida, SP. achea aeruginosa, compared directly to various standard antibiotics used in the same study.
So not necessarily a replacement for antibiotics across the board, but...
Not necessarily, no, but it absolutely positions ginger as a really significant area for potential natural drug development in the future. That's clear.
What's behind all this power? How does ginger actually do it? It seems like such a complex package.
It is. Its composition is incredibly rich. I mean, mostly carbohydrates, yes, but also crude fiber, protein, some fatty oils, and those essential volatile oils.
Yeah.
But the real magic, you could say, comes from its unique blend of phenolic compounds and terpenes.
Phenolic compound.
Yeah, things like gingerol, paradol, and shogo. Powerful players. And then there's zingerone, which actually comes from the breakdown of shogols and gingerol.
Zingerone. I've heard of that one.
Right. It's been studied quite a bit for its impressive activities, anti-cancer, antioxidant, antimicrobial properties. And what's really appealing is that it's noted as being relatively non-toxic.
That's a huge plus. So let's bring it back to practical stuff for our listeners. What does this mean day to day?
Well, traditionally, ginger's been the go-to for nausea, hasn't it? Pregnancy, motion sickness, even menstrual pain.
Definitely.
And it's a classic remedy for a whole host of GI issues: upset stomach, diarrhea, dyspepsia, morning sickness, bloating, heartburn, even low appetite.
Its uses seem to go way beyond just digestion, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Research shows it can play a role in improving blood sugar levels and insulin sensitivity. That's crucial for metabolic health. It's also gaining recognition for potentially reducing cancer risk, and it's a really potent anti-inflammatory agent.
So good for joint issues, like arthritis.
Fantastic for things like osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, even just general muscle aches after you've, pushed yourself a bit.
Wow, the list just keeps growing.
It does. It's been used topically for skin burns. Internally, it can act as a gentle antacid, a mild laxative. It's even known to help lower high blood pressure and really boost blood circulation, that lovely warming effect it has.
Ah, that warming effect. That's why it's so good for colds and flu, too, I bet.
Exactly. It acts as an antiviral in that context as well. Plus, its bioactive compounds and antioxidants seem to inhibit inflammatory responses right in the brain.
In the brain.
Yes, suggesting it could have positive effects for various brain-related conditions, maybe even including Alzheimer's disease. The research is ongoing, but very promising.
Incredible versatility. And you mentioned heart health, too.
Yes, significant cardioprotective effects. Studies consistently show ginger helps improve lipid profiles in the blood, meaning it can help reduce levels of total cholesterol, the bad LDL cholesterol, and triglycerides, while actually increasing the beneficial HDL cholesterol. That's a win-win-win for heart health.
And there's clinical evidence for this?
Oh, yes. The trials really back this up. For instance, one study found taking just 3 grams of ginger daily for 45 days significantly cut LDL, total cholesterol, and VLDL levels in non-diabetic patients who had high lipids.
Just 3 grams a day? That seems manageable.
It does. Another trial showed 3 grams a day for only 30 days substantially lowered LDL and total cholesterol in hyperlipidemic patients.
And for people with atherosclerosis?
A study using 1,600 milligrams daily for 2 months showed reductions in VLDL, triglycerides, and even helped with body weight. These are tangible results, Bob.
So how does it work? What's the mechanism?
It's quite elegant, actually. Ginger works on several fronts. It boosts pancreatic lipase. That's an enzyme that helps break down fats. It also inhibits fat hydrolysis in the intestine.
Okay, so less fat absorption.
Partly, yes. And it influences the activity of HMG-CoA reductase, a key enzyme involved in the body making cholesterol. Plus, it helps the liver clear out circulating LDL more effectively.
And the inflammation angle.
Crucial. Ginger's strong anti-inflammatory properties help fight endothelial dysfunction, that's damage to the lining of blood vessels. By suppressing inflammatory pathways, it leads to healthier arteries, better heart function overall.
A reminder that you're listening to Udo TV. Okay, Susan, let's shift gears to another golden wonder. Turmeric. Curcuma longa.
Ah, the golden spice.
Exactly. Most people know it for giving curry that vibrant color and distinct flavor. But like ginger, its role is so much bigger than just the kitchen, right?
Oh, absolutely. Its profound health benefits are central to Ayurvedic medicine, going back millennia. It's truly earned that title, Golden Healer.
So what makes it so special?
Well, it starts with a pretty impressive nutritional profile. It gives you calories, protein, good fats, carbs, fiber, plus micronutrients like iron, potassium, vitamin C, manganese.
Okay, good foundation.
But the real stars are its phytochemicals. There's a group called diryleptanoids, and most importantly, the curcuminoids.
Curcuminoids. That includes curcumin, right?
That's the main one, yes.
Yeah.
Curcumin, along with dimethoxycurcumin and bis-dimethoxycurcumin. Plus, turmeric has essential oils like turmerone, germacrine, zingiberine, and atlantoin. They all contribute.
And does it have those antimicrobial powers like ginger?
It does indeed. That same comparative study showed turmeric extracts could inhibit pathogens like S. aureus, Candida SPE, and P. aeruginosa.
Any specifics?
Yeah, it showed, for instance, a 10.9 millimeter inhibition zone against P. aeruginosa. And interestingly, like ginger, it had a 10% MIC for E. coli, so potent even in smaller amounts.
But the big story with turmeric is usually inflammation, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Curcumin's anti-inflammatory ability is really well established. It's particularly effective at reducing pain linked to arthritis.
How does it do that?
It significantly reduces the circulation of inflammatory messengers called cytokines, like interleukin-6. These are key drivers of inflammation throughout the body.
So it calms things down systemically.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. Curcumin is also a powerful antioxidant. It actively protects our liver from various toxins and neutralizes those damaging reactive oxygen species.
Protecting cells everywhere, basically.
Pretty much. And curcumin has this amazing versatility. Scientists call it pleiotropic activity,
Meaning?
meaning it can interact with a wide range of molecules in the body. DNA, metals, proteins. It can even act as a chelating agent.
Like a magnet for toxins?
Sort of, yeah. It binds to and helps remove toxic metal ions. This broad influence allows it to help with digestion, reduce blood cholesterol.
And potentially more serious conditions.
That's where the research is really exciting. It's being explored for roles in managing cancer, prediabetes, tuberculosis, even Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's again. How?
Well, its ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and potentially chelate toxic metal ions in the brain is a key focus there. Very promising.
Wow. And I heard it's good for skin, too.
Yes. That combination of antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and even wound-healing activities makes it excellent natural support for various skin issues. It's a real multitasker.
What about heart health, like ginger?
Definitely. Curcuminoids show notable anti-atherogenic, meaning fighting plaque buildup antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory actions for the cardiovascular system. They positively influence lipid profiles, improving that crucial LDL to HDL cholesterol ratio.
Got any clinical evidence on that?
Sure do. One study found that taking 2,100 milligrams of powdered turmeric rhizome daily for 8 weeks significantly reduced body weight, triglycerides, LDL-C, and total cholesterol in patients who had both type 2 diabetes and high lipids.
That's a significant impact.
It's huge. Another trial used an aqueous extract, just 1.4 milligrams a day for 3 months, and saw significant drops in total cholesterol, LDL, triglycerides, LDL-C, and VLDL-C in overweight people with high lipids.
Even at a low dose like that.
Exactly. And another one, in patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, 2 grams of turmeric capsules daily for 8 weeks decreased their LDL, HDL, and levels of malondialdehyde. That's a marker of oxidative stress. It really highlights turmeric's antioxidant and lipid-lowering power.
A reminder that you're listening to Udo TV. Okay, let's move on to an absolute kitchen staple, but also a medicinal powerhouse. Garlic. Allium sativum.
Ah, garlic. Can't live without it.
Right. Its flavor is so distinct, but its medicinal properties are just as remarkable. It's been cherished across cultures for literally millennia. Nature's potent protector, for sure.
And its unique power comes mainly from sulfur compounds, Bob. When you chop or crush garlic, an enzyme converts alon into allicin.
Allicin, that's the key one.
It's the most studied and probably most potent bioactive compound, yes. But there are others, too, align itself. S-L-cysteine, ajoine, various polysulfides, and vinyl diphins. It's a whole complex.
And you mentioned chopping. Is there a trick to that?
There is. A great tip. If you want to maximize that allicin, chop or grate your garlic about 10 minutes before you use it in cooking or eat it raw.
Really? Why?
It gives that enzyme allinase time to work and convert more alanine into active allicin.
Huh. Good tip. I'll remember that. Okay, so does garlic also have that antimicrobial punch like ginger and turmeric?
It certainly does. Our comparative study friend confirmed it again. Garlic extract inhibited 4 of the test pathogens. And interestingly, its highest inhibition zone, a strong 11.5 millimeters, was against E. coli.
E. coli again. Seems these natural remedies target it well.
They do. And garlic also had that 10% MIC for E. coli, showing its direct effectiveness.
And allicin, that main compound, what else does it do?
Oh, it's a superstar. Widely researched, it's known to be antiviral, antibacterial, anti-cancer, and antifungal. Plus, garlic as a whole is a fantastic immune booster, strengthening your body's natural defenses.
Those sulfur compounds sound pretty important overall.
They are. They contribute to garlic's strong defensive mechanisms against all sorts of pests and pathogens. It's how the plant protects itself, and we benefit from that.
Let's talk heart health again. How does garlic fit in there?
Very well. Allicin and the other organosulfur compounds show remarkable effects here, too. They are both hypolipidemic, lowering blood fats, and antihypertensive, lowering blood pressure.
So good for cholesterol and blood pressure.
Exactly. They actively reduce triglyceride levels and help improve that HDL-LDL balance we talked about.
And the blood pressure part, how does that work?
It's multifaceted. It seems linked to hydrogen sulfide generation and allicin's actions. Garlic reduces the synthesis of compounds that narrow blood vessels, vasoconstrictive prostanoids.
Okay.
It also enhances the regulation of endothelial nitric oxide that's crucial for relaxing blood vessels, widening them, which lowers pressure. It stimulates hydrogen sulfide production and inhibits the angiotensin-converting enzyme, or ACE.
Like some blood pressure medications do.
Similar mechanism, yes. Inhibiting ACE helps relax blood vessels. So garlic uses multiple pathways for a healthier circulatory system.
Is there clinical proof for these heart benefits?
Absolutely. For instance, a specific formulation called Alacor 150 milligram garlic powder twice a day for a year significantly lowered LDL and overall cardiovascular risk in people who already had coronary heart disease.
After a whole year, wow.
Yes. Another study used enteric-coated garlic tablets, 400 milligram garlic plus 1 milligram allicin, twice daily. It showed significant improvements in total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, and triglycerides in hyperlipidemic patients.
Even aged black garlic. I've seen that around.
Yes. 250 milligram a day for just 6 weeks was found to reduce diastolic blood pressure in patients with high cholesterol. So different forms can be effective.
So summing up garlic's heart benefits, it's quite a list.
It really is. Obstructing platelet aggregation. So anti-clotting, lowering blood pressure, improving lipid profiles, enhancing vasodilation, inhibiting cholesterol production. It's very comprehensive.
And beyond the heart.
Yeah.
Any other key benefits?
Well, its potent antioxidants help fight oxidative stress, which, as we mentioned with ginger, reduces the risk of conditions like Alzheimer's.
Right.
And externally, traditionally, it's been used for things like itching, ringworm, athlete's foot. Plus, don't forget the basic nutrition. A small 3-gram clove gives you manganese, B6, vitamin C, selenium, fiber, and little bits of iron, B1, potassium, calcium, phosphorus. It really is a powerhouse.
Incredible stuff.
A reminder that you're listening to Udo TV. Okay, Bob. Now, for what might seem like the odd one out, but is actually a fascinating addition to our wellness pack, sodium bicarbonate.
Baking soda.
Okay.
Really, I mean, besides baking or cleaning.
Exactly. Most people see it as just a kitchen staple, but it has this truly remarkable and quite diverse array of health and wellness applications. It can even function in specific situations as a medicine.
Huh. Now, this one is interesting, Susan, because I know there have been some, let's say, negative whispers about it in the past, particularly some older Iranian studies, right, suggesting harmful effects in bread making, something about phytic acid, blocking absorption of iron, zinc, calcium, maybe even lowering blood levels of those minerals.
Yes, those concerns were raised. And you also had unofficial websites making claims about increased heavy metal absorption or just bad taste and bread waste. It created a bit of a negative perception.
So what's the real story?
This is where it gets crucial to look at the bigger picture, Bob. A major systematic review titled Association Between Sodium Bicarbonate Consumption and Human Health tackled this head-on.
And what did it find?
It was incredibly clear. The review concluded unequivocally that no credible studies were found pointing to harmful effects of sodium bicarbonate in food materials on human health.
No credible studies. So those earlier concerns were?
Essentially not substantiated by the broader body of evidence. In fact, the review found the opposite. It stated, and I'll quote loosely here, not only was evidence of harm not found, but many benefits of using this compound in therapeutic doses have been reported.
Wow, that completely flips the script. That's a powerful finding from a systematic review.
It really is. It highlights how important it is to rely on comprehensive reviews, not just isolated studies or, random claims online.
Absolutely.
And Bob, this brings us back to that fundamental principle: the dose makes the poison. Or rather, the dose makes the non-poison.
Right. Everything in moderation.
Exactly. The review acknowledged that complications have been reported, but only at very high doses, far beyond therapeutic levels. Things like stomach rupture, metabolic alkalosis, cardiac arrhythmia, extremely rare events linked to excessive intake. So context and appropriate dosage are everything.
Okay, so with that misconception cleared up, let's talk benefits. You mentioned therapeutic uses.
Yes, let's start with athletic performance. Sodium bicarbonate is actually a bit of an unsung hero here.
How so?
It improves performance by acting as a buffer, regulating the body's pH during intense exercise, helping to neutralize that lactic acid buildup.
So less muscle burn maybe, more endurance.
Precisely. Studies show it can increase speed in swimmers, reduce blood lactate in tennis players. It helps athletes push harder for longer.
Interesting. What about gut health?
Well, its most common use is as a simple antacid, right? Often used with things like bromelain for indigestion.
Sure.
But here's a really interesting application. In patients undergoing chemo for GI cancer, sodium bicarbonate has actually been shown to reduce the awful nausea and diarrhea that often come with treatment.
Really? That could make a huge difference to quality of life.
A massive difference, yes. A compassionate use.
And cardiovascular support. Does baking soda play a role there too?
Surprisingly, yes. Studies on mineral water naturally rich in sodium bicarbonate are revealing. Daily consumption, say, a liter a day with about 2 grams of bicarbonate for 2 months was shown to reduce indicators of heart disease.
Just from mineral water?
Yes. And other studies using higher concentrations, like 35 or 48 millimoles per liter for 2 months, found reductions in LDL, total cholesterol, and blood pressure, while increasing HDL in healthy young adults.
That's quite an impact.
It is. It's even been shown to improve CPR outcomes in patients with hyperkalemia that's dangerously high potassium. And importantly, in patients with kidney issues, studies found it was well tolerated. No fluid retention or blood pressure problems.
Speaking of kidneys, any benefits there?
Yes, quite significant ones potentially. It seems it can help slow the progression of renal insufficiency kidney decline and improve overall nutritional status in these patients.
Oh.
It helps correct metabolic acidosis, that pH imbalance common in kidney failure, and increases serum albumin levels without negatively affecting kidney function markers like BUN or creatinine.
And metabolic health generally?
In healthy postmenopausal women, studies showed it could decrease fasting blood glucose, total cholesterol, LDL, the cardiovascular risk index, and increase HDL. Pretty broad metabolic improvements.
Okay, one last one. I've heard about using it for teeth.
Yes, but this is strictly external use, Bob. Very important distinction.
Right, not swallowing it for this.
Definitely not. But in a DIY paste, often with a bit of hydrogen peroxide, it can be great for oral hygiene. It helps kill bugs causing gum disease, reduces plaque, calms gum inflammation, and yes, it can help whiten teeth.
So a natural toothpaste alternative, used carefully.
Exactly. Powerful, but only for brushing than rinsing out.
Got it. Sodium bicarbonate, definitely more than meets the eye.
Now, Bob and I have just spent some time exploring the really profound benefits of these natural remedies. Garlic, ginger, turmeric, sodium bicarbonate. Their power is incredible.
It really is.
However, it is absolutely crucial for you, our listener, to understand a vital distinction. Not everything that gets marketed as alternative or wellness boosting is actually safe.
Right. Especially when chemical compounds get involved in ways they were never meant to be.
Exactly. And this brings us to a critical point, Bob. We need to be incredibly clear here.
Okay.
There are some advocates out there who actually promote drinking diluted hydrogen peroxide, sometimes even the food-grade 35% stuff.
Drinking it. Why on earth?
They make these wild claims that it's a cure for all sorts of things: sore throats, arthritis, diabetes, even some cancers. The claim is often that it adds extra oxygen to the body.
Extra oxygen. That sounds questionable.
It's more than questionable, Bob. Let me state this unequivocally. There is zero credible scientific evidence that drinking hydrogen peroxide in any concentration provides any health benefits at all.
Zero evidence.
None. In fact, all the evidence points definitively the other way towards severe dangers.
Okay, so what are the dangers? This sounds serious.
It is serious. When you ingest hydrogen peroxide, it reacts instantly with enzymes in your body, producing huge amounts of oxygen gas.
Okay.
If that gas can't be physically burped out fast enough, it can literally force its way into your blood vessels. This creates dangerous gas bubbles and embolism.
An embolism, like blocking blood flow.
Exactly. These bubbles can travel to your heart, your brain, potentially causing heart attacks or strokes. It's incredibly dangerous.
Wow, that's terrifying. Are there other risks?
Oh, yes. Depending on how much you drink and how concentrated it is, even small amounts of the regular 3% household stuff can cause bloating, stomach pain.
And larger amounts or higher concentrations.
Much worse. We're talking ulcers, perforated gut, literally holes burn through your digestive tract, severe burns in the mouth, throat, stomach, in severe cases, breathing problems, fainting, and yes, even death.
Death from drinking hydrogen peroxide.
It has happened, and people need to understand that food-grade hydrogen peroxide people sometimes talk about, it's over 10 times more concentrated than the stuff you buy for cleaning cuts.
10 times.
Yes. And the dilution instructions you might find online, they vary wildly. They're often dangerously imprecise. Its safety for internal use has simply never been properly evaluated. It's incredibly risky.
So this is a stark example, isn't it, of how common factory products.
Exactly. Even things with legitimate external or industrial uses, they can contain toxic chemicals that will cause severe harm if they're misused, especially if you ingest them.
The message is crystal clear then.
It has to be. Do not drink hydrogen peroxide, any concentration, any amount. It's not safe, and it offers no health benefits internally.
A really crucial warning, Susan. Thank you for making that so clear.
So, as we bring today's exploration to a close, Bob and I really hope you've gained a refreshed, maybe deeper appreciation for the incredible power held within nature's pantry.
Absolutely. We've looked at how garlic, ginger, turmeric, and even sodium bicarbonate, all backed by solid scientific inquiry now, offer just a wealth of natural benefits for your health and overall wellness.
It truly is inspiring, isn't it, to realize what amazing resources are available, often right in our kitchens or local stores.
It empowers us, gives us choices.
It does. And as you continue to think about and maybe enhance your own personal health and wellness pack, we invite you to reflect on that profound wisdom embedded in nature's offerings.
Hmm.
This journey really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other natural elements might be out there quietly waiting to reveal their surprising health benefits if only we take the time to truly understand them, to respect their power.
That's a great thought to leave people with, Susan. We really encourage you to consider how these insights can empower you in your daily lives. Thank you so much for joining us on Udu TV for this